Hi, everybody. Hello. I'm so excited to make this video today. I'm here today with the books that I plan on reading in October. It's quite a list. I will try to be quick about it. I have 12 books here, and most of them are novellas, so it's nothing too crazy. Last year, kind of, I don't know, without thinking that this would change my October reading possibly for forever, I picked up a bunch of novellas that I hadn't read off my bookshelf to read for October, a bunch of horror novellas, just because I wanted to experience a lot of different types of horror. I didn't want to get slogged down with like 4 or 5 books. And it ended up being such a fantastic time, and I think this is just like what I'm going to do from now on, is like save up my novellas for October and then really just, indulge. I've got a couple here that aren't novellas too, but the majority are novellas or like short story collections. Anyway, I'd like to start out with a book I'm doing for our buddy read. This is Summer Suns by Mandelo, and this is the story of 2 childhood best friends. They're starting to grow up and kind of go their separate ways, which is a little bit hard. And then one of the friends dies by suicide, and it leaves the other one sort of reeling, and kind of opens this box of secrets that the deceased friend had. And now the living friend is kind of dealing with all these strange secrets that he never knew his friend had. Seems intriguing. I saw a review say that they feel like it has some Southern Gothic vibes, which I appreciate, so I'm excited to read that one. Next novel on my list. This is My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. This is about a horror movie obsessed teenager who believes that there is a slasher type killer killing people in her little town. I just think, like, I thought about maybe not reading this until November, just because I am trying to read a ton of novellas. But I really think that the backdrop of all the horror movies, the slashers that I'm planning on watching in October as well, will really just be perfect for reading this book. And you know what? I'm just gonna do it. It's gonna be a great time. Next, I have an R.L. Stine book, a Goosebumps book. This is number 1, Welcome to the Dead House, and this is about a haunted house. I'm also picking up a Fear Street book. This is One Evil Summer by R.L. Stine, and this is about a girl who thinks her babysitter is evil, or the babysitter who's babysitting her brother and sister. Chrissy is perfectly evil. Okay, some of these novellas I'm just going to read the synopsis of because it's short and I don't know much about the books. This is Girl in the Video by Michael David Wilson. This one says, after a teacher receives a weirdly arousing video, his life descends into paranoia and obsession. More videos follow, each containing information no stranger could possibly know. But who's sending them, and what do they want? The answers may destroy everything and everyone he loves. Love a horror story that involves technology. I haven't read a ton of them, but I do really like that weird incorporation, because I feel like sometimes horror movies intentionally make it so that technology does not work, because it seems like such an easy way out of some of these situations. So it's interesting when the author kind of like takes that and spins it around and makes it so like the technology is actually what's haunting people. I'm really excited to get into that one. This one is a little chunkier than some of the other books I've chosen, but this is the Magpie Coffin by Wile E. Young. I'm not gonna read the synopsis. It's basically about this dude. His name is Salem, and he's an outlaw, and I have a cat named Salem, so now all I picture is like my old black kitty being really bad and, hurting people. But this says, the Magpie Coffin is an unrelenting tale of revenge with precise brutality and extreme violence. I don't know if this would be considered extreme horror. I mean, I know that these are splatter westerns, so I guess like splatterpunk, which I really am not familiar with. So I'm very interested to see whether that's something I like. I just don't know. Next, I have a newer release. This is To Offer Her Pleasure by Seay. After the death of his father and his mother taking off, it becomes clear to Ben that the only thing he can count on is no one to count on, until he finds the book, one that calls forth a shadowy horned figure. She comes with unexpected gifts and the comfort of a dependable presence. She asks for very little in return, really. The more Ben offers her, the easier it gets. Sometimes family requires more than a little sacrifice. I don't know much about this. I bought this because of the cover. So, I mean, there it is. That's my secret. Weird Punk Books has not steered me wrong yet, so I'm feeling like that's gonna be a great one. Next I have a nonfiction book. This is Ouija, the Most Dangerous Game by Stoker Hunt. And this is a little history, a little look into the Ouija board. And I couldn't tell when this was published because the first couple pages are ripped off. Luckily, none of the important ones. But I have a feeling that maybe this was written in the 80s. From reading the back, it seems like this might be a little sensationalized, maybe coming off the waves of satanic panic and, you know, thinking that using a Ouija board is just like opening a portal to hell in your house. So I'm excited just because I feel like this will give me something to chuckle at the very least. I don't know if this is going to look into like spiritualism, which is something I read about in another book recently, which I know some about, but not a ton. So it would be interesting to learn a little more about it, I guess, if, you know, that's included. But anyways, that's Ouija. Okay, next book here I'm not holding up because the cover is a little bit disturbing. It does have a depiction of somebody dying by suicide. But this is Scanlines by Todd Kiesling, and I keep meaning to fucking read this, and I just haven't. So now I'm making sure that, you know, this is actually the perfect TBR to put this in. But this is about the urban legend of a videotape, a VHS, that allegedly has somebody dying by suicide on it. And this group of friends apparently find this tape and watch it, and then terrible things start to happen in their lives. I mean, I've been meaning to get into it. I don't know. Next is Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones. One last laugh for the summer as it winds down. One last prank just to scare a friend. Bringing a mannequin into a theater is just some harmless fun, right? Until it wakes up, until it starts killing. Luckily, Sawyer has a plan. He'll be a hero. He'll save everybody to the best of his ability. He'll kill as many people as he needs to so he can save the day. That's the thing about heroes. Sometimes you have to become the monster first. This is another one I've just held on to for way too long. I just want to read all of Stephen Graham Jones' stuff. So I have this, it's short, it's a novella, and I'm gonna fucking read it this month. You can't tell me what to do. Two more here. First, I have Dimentia by Russell Coy. After giving up on his dream of being a published writer, Chris is plagued by a series of nightmarish visions of grotesque creatures. As the visions manifest with greater frequency, they start targeting his young daughter. They are finding their way into his world, and only he can fight them. Chris must uncover the truth about his connection to this strange sadistic realm and plunge headfirst into the unknown if he wants to save his daughter and himself. I don't know if this is about aliens, but I really hope so. The cover says aliens to me, and I could be totally off. I'll try not to be disappointed. It's been calling my name, like from my bookshelf, since I put it on there. So now I'm gonna get to it. Okay, and last I have here The Razorblades in My Head by Donnie Goodman. This is a short story collection. I don't know much about it. The cover is fantastic. It's a short story collection. It sounds fun. I know that there's a story about crabs. You know, why not? Why not have a story about killer crabs? Okay, that's what I have for you today. That's it. That's my TBR for October. I don't know if I'll be able to fit anything in or anything more in. Oh my gosh. you know, because I'm also watching a lot of movies, which actually makes the novellas make even more sense, because like if I'm, you know, spending 2 hours of my free time now also watching a movie every night, that does cut back on my reading. So anyway, that's what I have. And I also want to ask if you have any novellas that you've really loved, or any that you're really curious about, any upcoming ones that you're excited for. I'd love to hear, because, you know, if I'm reading like 10 of them a year, I'm going to quickly run out, I'm sure. Like, I don't think, even on my shelf right now, I probably don't have enough to do a third year of this without buying more. So I'd love to know if you have any recommendations for some good novellas. If you're curious about what I'm watching this month, I did make a separate video on that. I will leave the link to that in my description if you're interested. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a really great October. I know I'll be seeing you again. I have a trope video I'm doing soon. I'd like to talk about some of my favorite horror movies, things like that. Some spooky related content coming your way, so keep an eye out for that. I will see you guys later. Goodbye!